Let's talk a little bit about the NWA again, because in November, Ted Turner is going to buy Jim Crockett Promotions. You had talked about, you know, the leading up to this, where Tully had given his testimony to some Turner execs, and maybe that annoyed David and Jimmy. When you finally hear, hey, the sale happened, what's your feeling now that you know you're out of there? Because beforehand, you've sort of shared with us in the archives, which are available for download now. You weren't sure, hey, are they going to come in and buy this thing, or are we going out of business? Because something's got to give. When you hear that they bought it, is there a tinge of, I wish I would have waited to see what that looked like, or does that not exist at all?
Well, timing is everything. And they said, when they said out of one side of their mouth, Turner, we're pretty sure Turner's going to buy the company, that was a huge positive. But when they went, or we may have to file bankruptcy. Well, that was like blowing a damn tuba in my ear. That went to a whole different level of conversation. Because if they filed bankruptcy, now what do you got? You got a company that's immediately going to have to be broken up, and all those jobs are going to have to be filled somewhere. There weren't enough lifeboats. I wasn't going to wait, to see one way or the other. I had a family to take care of. Who's going to give me the stability? Who's going to stick their hand out and go, hey, you're set? So, I never looked back. Tully never looked back. We started hearing about guys that they were signing to ridiculous amounts of money down there to come in, and they'd do one or two TVs and you wouldn't see them again for 3 months. That irritated me a little bit, but that's all it was. I knew you couldn't fix it. I had made my decision. I had to do the best I could with the cards I was dealt.
Let's talk a little bit about your old friends that are still down there. Rick's still down there. Are you still in any sort of regular communication with him or anybody else when you're on the road with the WWF and your new job?
Nope. Occasionally we would have, Rick would call us from some hotel or somewhere he'd be drinking or something. And, the usual, it was just one of those fun, loud, lot of noise, screaming,
sure,
stuff in the background. You can barely make out what they're saying. We stayed in touch, but it wasn't a weekly thing, or might have been a monthly thing more so, because he had a lot on his plate down there as well, starting, with new ownership, and I'm sure having to prove his worth to all those guys down there, as crazy as that may sound. But, it wasn't remember, there weren't cell phones back in those days that they have now. They were around, but they were the size of a freaking lunchbox.